jumping off.
Man, what's going on out there in these streets? We over here, we having a better show before we go live, but we have to go live. We have to.
Yeah,
what
yeah,
it
definitely.
do, folks? What it do? Team No Sleep, my man right there, Martel Allen is in the building. How you living, brother? Talk to us.
Man, God's graces, man, I'm doing good, man. Blessings on top of blessings on top of blessings. I can't complain. I got to thank the All Almighty,
Yeah,
and happy for the family and everything, man. Just kind of keeping it moving and ready to rock.
that's all we can do, man. That's all we can.
Yeah,
We got some folks coming in the building. Chief is here, so you know it's gonna be a good show. Right? Because Chief don't play, right? He must have something on his mind, and we're gonna talk about it.
hey, speaking for sure,
We
speaking.
got Senior in the building, so the show is officially on. And Nushin here with the building, talking about the new intro. Thank you, brother. Listen, we always elevating, trying to make
Yes,
sure
sir.
it's right for folks. For folks that are new, Team No Sleep, Social Impact of Sport. We come live every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. We do it for the community. And if there's anything you guys want us to talk about, please submit it to myself or Martel so we can get into it. First story is always the social impacting story. And I'm tired of talking about bad stories, but we got to do it. This one is a little different, man. This story that we were going into before we went live is crazy. Let me just bring it up. Let's talk about this, man. Here, former NFL player arrested in connection slaying his own mother. Sergio Brown was arrested down in Southern California, down here in our neck of the woods, down here right in our backyard, in connection with the death of his mother, 73-year-old woman. I'm gonna read. I can read the whole story. We can go into it right there, but that's attention grabbing headline right there, and that just makes you want to stop and wonder. Come on, man, what's going on in your world to where you do harm to anyone, especially did harm to your mother? So, hey, Dad, you watch it. Wake Mom up if she awake, because I was gonna call her after this anyway. But I need to just say hello to my mother today. But Montel, what do you think about that when you see something like this, man? This is insane.
Um, it's disheartening, man. I mean, we're in a situation now where, or in this person's situation, I mean, you harm your mother.
Hmm.
The person that gave birth to you, the person that's loved you unconditionally, probably throughout her whole life. Whether you had any differences or anything you've had with your mother and your parents, they no matter what you think, they still love you unconditionally. They may have some things going on. So the fact that a person would, like you said, put their hands on anybody, but then be conspired to kill your mother, and caught up in this conviction, and you're in connection to killing your mother, man, that's beyond talk. I mean, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
We have been taught since we've been young men, protect our mothers at all costs. Period. We protect our mother against our wives, protect our mother against anybody outside. We'll protect our mother against our father. We've been taught to protect our mother, and this person took that person's life, man. It's really disheartening and unfathomable. I don't understand. I really don't. There's nothing he could tell me that would, you know, give me an understanding why you would do it. Because no
Yeah.
matter what it is, you could have just walked away. No
Yeah.
matter what it was.
And the fact that there's more context, and I'll leave the link in the description to the story here. And the fact, you look at what I got highlighted right here. Medical examiner ruled her death a homicide and determined that she was injured during an assault. That means it wasn't just, and again, I don't want to be flippant about this. It wasn't just he stabbed her. It wasn't just he shot her, right? There was an
Beat her.
altercation, right?
Yeah,
There
he
was
beat
an
her.
altercation, and there was putting hands on folks, and for this man to end up murdering and killing his own mother,
Well,
man,
let's pause. Wait, pause right there.
yeah,
Again, men our age or somewhere, a little bit younger than us, what would fathom you to put your hands on any 70-year-old, 70 plus old woman? Any 70 plus old human being.
mm-hmm.
They're not a threat to you. Unless they have a gun, there is no threat to you at all. I mean, I don't think I don't know any 70-year-old is gonna, do anything physically harming to me. If anyway, I could just run away and get away from them and let till they calm down. So to me, I I don't know, man. There's nothing he could say to make me understand why you did it.
Yeah,
Nothing. There's nothing. I mean, there's nothing you can rationalize it. There's nothing you could do. Maybe he has mental health issues. Maybe, I'm sure the football thing will come into play and CTE will come into play because they always do it. They use that as an excuse. But I think if you're cognizant of doing certain things, you're cognizant and aware of the actions that you're taking when you commit crimes like this.
Yeah.
There's just no excuse, man. No excuse. And especially like I said, us in our community, especially young black men, we're taught to protect our mothers no matter what.
Exactly.
Under every circumstances. You know, right, wrong, or indifferent, I'm protecting my mom. My mom do something wrong, I'll take the fall. We've been taught that since we've been, born on this earth.
It's ingrained in our DNA, right?
Yeah,
It just
it's in
we
our
come out
DNA.
that way.
So, that's a general consensus among African American men. I ain't gonna say that's not isolated. That's a general consensus amongst all African American men. We protect our mothers at all costs. And for this guy to do this, man, it's like not only do you took someone's life, you took your mother's life, but you broke the code, the ultimate code. Messing with children and messing with your mother.
That's where I was
Those
going to go,
like
brother. They're going to put him underneath the cell with the child molesters and the rapists. They're going to put this man underneath the cell for this right here, man. So this is just not right. He's out there posting on Instagram afterwards, trying to, I guess, plead his case. And I also, I wonder why it is that we feel that people resort to social media, to the Instagrams of the world, the Facebooks, and things like that, to plead themselves, try to prove themselves innocent.
I think people
why has that become the norm, and why has that also become to me? I don't want to pivot and deviate too much, but
no, I think people want to be found not guilty by public opinion. The court of public opinion. They want that victory.
Yeah.
To me, you'd be smart enough if you just kept your mouth shut and let your lawyers do their work and try to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Don't go out there trying to plead your case and everything like that, because everyone's gonna come to a conclusion like we are. I'm coming to a conclusion. I can tell you right now. If he didn't do it, forgive me for my words, but if you did do it, man, I hope you go to hell. You don't kill your mother. You just don't. You don't hurt your mother. You don't put your hands on your mother. You don't do anything like that. Regardless.
That's the ultimate, right? Again, we talk about domestic violence, we talk about abuse, we talk about all kinds of things. It's just a whole nother ratcheted up level especially when it comes to not just elder abuse or senior abuse, but when it comes to your parent, especially a grown man, 37 years old, and his 73-year-old mother. So this story, I don't even know if I want to follow this story. I know we always say we like to follow stories as they go through, but this one, I hope they lose the book.
If he's guilty, man, I hope I don't even want to pray for his soul. That's how bad I feel about it, and that's unfortunate because I don't feel that way about a lot of people. But I mean, these are like unthinkable crimes. Like I said, when you do things to children, and like I said, you violate your mother, man, that's just like there's no coming back from that. And you touched on a touchy subject too, like elderly abuse. There's more of that going on than you think. I think that people think and realize there's that going on. So I think you always got to keep a watchful eye. If you're a sibling, you're a brother or sister, you got to watch your parents and make sure nothing's happening, especially if you have another relative that's a little bit out of there around your elderly person. I just think you have to be aware. You got to be very cognizant of the situation. Nowadays, people are just, I hate to say it, crazy. And that doesn't exhibit family at all. Some people in family are crazy and they try to take advantage of people that are older, steal, rob, cheat, hit, do whatever they want to do. Just make sure you, being that conscious person, you keep an eye. My mother has anything wrong with her, I'm asking my sister right away, hey, you see mom, you talk to mom?
Yeah.
If I see anything crazy, I'm going, I'm out there. So to make sure to do it. So I just think, just be very cognizant of the surroundings and the people that your parents are around, because you never know, like there's crazies within family. So, that's
right there. See, so that's cool right there, because that comes back to something that you and I always talk about as well when we see these types of situations. Who is it that you're surrounding yourself with? And who is going to be brave enough? Who is going to take the ownership of stepping in? If you see something, you kind of know something's going on, right? There were probably markers, and again, don't want to assume too much. There were probably markers that something was going on with Sergio Brown. Just in terms of the relationship, and he was probably getting more violent, getting more agitated, whatever the case may be. There has to be someone within his circle. For someone who played, let's see, 6 years for the Patriots, the Colts, the Jags, and the Bills. He got a couple of
Hmm.
dollars, right? He got a couple of dollars, and he got folks around him. There's got to be
He's
a
got
squad of
there's the
folks.
key. He has somebody around him. There's somebody he's befriended, whether it be a childhood friend or somebody he met within the league,
Mm-hmm.
or ex-girlfriend or something. There's something there that someone can notice the pattern of behavior, I believe, in a person. And a person that does something like that, if they're able to play it off and not show anything and act normal, then that's a person that does need to be behind bars because they're very deviant. But I'm sure you can notice a pattern of situations going on, of a situation going on where it's going to escalate to where he says that. Typically, people stay crazy things. If I get a chance, I'm gonna kill that person. Or I'm gonna do something.
Yeah.
99% of people don't act out on it, but that 1% does act out on it. You need to be aware and be cognizant of those things. And we already know the weak out of our communities are very little children and elderly people. People prey on those all the time. Um, like I said, even within family. So you got to keep a watchful eye out on everybody and check up, right? Check up on grandma, check up on moms,
You
check
know,
up on grandpa.
we did it when
Hey,
the
how you
world
doing?
stopped, right? We did
Yeah,
it during the pandemic and then the lockdown and the
yeah,
shutdown and all that. And then
yeah,
just because we
yeah.
can get around now, it should be easier. Check up on folks.
Yeah, and your grandma knows how to use an iPad or know how to use the phone. You can keep an eye on her, make sure she all right. Hey, grandma, press that button on that phone so you can see her face and check up on her. I'm just saying,
That's
I
true.
have a cousin that works in elderly care,
Mm.
and he says, he's like elderly abuse is very rampant. It's very rampant in a lot of situations, not only in facilities but outside of facilities. Kids, people are bringing their parents to their facilities and they're already abused. They got bruises, they got dings, they've been hit, they've been beaten, and it's not by a stranger, it's by someone in their family. And
Wow.
usually that goes with frustration, right? So you got to think, you're a man, you're taking care of your mom, she's not listening to what you're doing or whatever, and for some reason you may get agitated and they push her or they hit her or they do these things. So I don't know what the signs are, but I know he told me like it does happen a lot, more so than you think. Everybody's not kumbaya with their parents
Mm-hmm.
or with their elderly. There's sometimes they treat them like they're their child, and they can go ahead and use physical force in order to try to discipline them to make them do what they want to do. So just like I said, if you're a person that got a grandparent, parent, grandpas and grandmas and great grandparents, grandpas, just check up on them once in a while, and make sure
Check
everything's all
up
right.
on folks, man. Make
Yeah,
sure we're
yeah.
doing all right, right? Make sure we're doing all right. All right. So we're not gonna go any further. We're not gonna give y'all any more homework. You now have your homework. Call somebody, text somebody, FaceTime. I don't know whatever it is that y'all do with y'all cool kids with all this technology. I just want to pause and say, look at these hats though. Look at these fellas staying focused on you. Y'all see, I got it pinned in the in the cart there as well. Y'all better pick up one of these focus hats, lower the price.
Yeah, yeah.
We bring in more value. So yeah, lower the price there and got some different styles. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. You
Yeah.
see how I pivoted
No, you
doing
you
that.
you you saying it right, man. Focus, and sometime every day you should focus on yourself. Whether that's just getting better, getting knowledgeable about something, getting rest, getting exercise. But at some point every day you got to focus on yourself. So focus.
What you said and what Noosh just said right here. Tell your peeps. Don't make the assumption. Tell your peeps every day. Tell your peeps that you love them. Do more show and tell. All right. Let's talk about football. We gonna go ahead and talk. We're gonna talk about some other sides of football as well. But this story, we may continue to watch it because we like to see things through fruition because that's what we do. Um, you and I have talked about the field situation, right?
Mhm.
Turf, natural grass, and the benefits, pros and cons of either one. What we're starting to see, or we've seen more of it. We've always seen it. So many athletes just getting injured on hard routes, right? Even though look like soft route, they're not getting hit by anything. They're just landing wrong in the grass or in the turf, and they're being removed for the entire season. They're not just spraining ankles; they're tearing their ACLs. They're tearing MCLs. They're having those serious career pausing injuries, and I think it becomes more visible when the stars go through this.
Mhm.
4 plays in, Aaron Rodgers could be done for the entire season. nobody expected that. Listen, I was there watching the game. There's some things with Aaron Rodgers that I don't believe and I don't agree with, but I wanted to see this man play. And when it starts happening to against some of these star athletes, what are your thoughts on this controversy and this debate that's starting to happen again about changing from the uh, fake field, fake turf, to real grass?
Well, I mean, turf came in play for two reasons. One, you run faster, but the main thing, it saves money, right? It saves money on cost of maintenance, right? That's the main reason why people started installing turf or artificial grass, to make sure you save so much money on maintenance, because it costs a lot to maintain sod and grass and all that stuff at that level, because it's always being torn up by cleats. But on the flip side, now you're starting to see a high level of injuries. I think we've had more knee, Achilles injuries that they've ever had in the NFL in the first couple of weeks within that time frame. And now it's not just sprained ankles; it's torn Achilles. It's torn knees. Knees are torn up. Meniscus, ACLs, and so on. Plus, you got also that it's very hard. I think that's a lot of reason for concussions as well. Tua showed you that last year when he got hit. It wasn't from the hit that he got a concussion. It's when he banged his head on the turf, on the back of the turf. So all those things, those factors come into play. That now it's almost like a hazard. You got to be very cautious when you're playing on turf. And it not only trickles down from the NFL. You got to think if NFL decides to rip all that up and we're going to go with natural grass or go with a synthetic grass that gives a lot more to prevent these injuries, that has to be trickled down to colleges and have to be trickled down to high school. So this is a big deal. It's a big discussion because everybody's going to follow what the NFL does for preventing a lot of these injuries. And they're losing money, right? Aaron Rodgers goes down. Jets are supposed to sell out every game. They probably getting half of that of fans. And now they're not getting the TV contract they wanted. Now they're getting on prime time like they wanted to. So, and also, the Jets as an organization lost so much money because Aaron Rodgers is not playing, because now they put all that money in order to try to win it this year and the next year. It's a lot of things, dominoes is going in. But for the NFL, I think, in the NFLPA, they're gonna have to come to a resolution. If they are going to do it, the cost of this going to take to do it. Remember, you got to tear up turf. Some stadiums are indoors. Maintenance of turf, irrigation systems for that turf, for grass. All those things have to be done, and they have to be done fast because you have to get it all done within the next season. Unless they do phases, unless they try to phase it out, whichever stadiums get it first. But man, this is a really big deal because I think if you go grass, it prevents so many more injuries. A lot of injuries.
So that's kind of where my question was going to be. I understand the economics piece of it. I understand, the retrofit and all of that. But you work with players, right? You work with players at all levels, and again, you see the injuries, you see the progression, you see the issues on the field, things like that. Are you hearing any of the players that you work with saying, "I'd much rather play on grass," or "I like playing on turf because I can be faster, right? I can't have that burst, that acceleration." I mean, it's a weird catch-22, right?
From a performance standpoint, you love turf because you're moving so much faster, right? You're moving fast. But from a sustainability and a possible injury, it's probably the worst thing you can play on, right? It's like playing on concrete almost with a layer of carpet over it. Pretty much is what it is. And then, you land hard or you hit hard on it. You're feeling that blow as well as the blow that you take it from a defense or an offensive person. Remember, it's only protected. It's like concrete protected by a cushion. And on that cushion, you got just like a layer of this synthetic grass. And the problem is when you dig your feet in and you try to make a move, you cut one way, your body's going one way, but it's planted to stand still. When you have grass gives, right? It'll peel itself on out, so to prevent the injury. It's a lot, man. The players I deal with, they don't really. It's not a big deal right now because it's not really hitting that high note. But if we get another megastar with an injury, I bet you in the NFL, it's going to get all high notes and be front page news saying, "Hey, it's time that we start to reevaluate the team and start getting rid of turf." And I totally believe, if you're an owner of a football team, what's wrong with putting that extra $4 or $5 million into tearing that up? Let's put this in here.
Is that how much
so my
it is?
star players won't be hurt.
I don't know, right? Is that how much it is, right? Jerry Jones. I mean, come on, and those folks and the owners of my Steelers, my Woolly Steelers, they got with $2, $3, $4, $5 million to put in.
Oh man, they got so much money.
Come on, right? They got a couple of dollars to do this.
On food. Yeah, they blow that money, man. They got enough money to do it. It's just the fact that they want to do it. And like I said, it was saving them. You got to think it's saving them so much money, right? To not have grass. Sounds crazy, but you save so much money not having grass because you got to think you have to have all the economics that come along with maintaining the lawn. You got to maintain a lawn now 100 yards,
Yeah.
or 100 longer than that. And
I would
you got
love to have Akili Smith back because he played at Oregon and famous
yeah.
for the all weather field, and he was that guy. He was the quarterback in that position. I would love to maybe chop it up with him. I don't know if he's watching or listening, but to hear his perspective on this as well.
And I can get Akili back on, but I think you got to also wonder the times now and why we're seeing so much. Remember, players are bigger, faster, and stronger now without turf. It's just the natural evolution of the athlete. So now you put this mechanism where the ground's not moving, right? So as soon as I plant my leg and somebody pushes me the wrong way, everything can go haywire. Like back in the day, you got to think, we watched it back in the day, and I don't even want to give our age too much, but if we watched it the only injury he had that was bad in the 80s, and in the 90s, 70s, going into the 80s and kind of to the 90s, was Joe Theismann. That was the only one we had.
Yeah, that was tough.
We never really heard about it, and that was on turf. But we never really heard of no knee. There wasn't very many knee injuries, or wasn't very many Achilles injuries. There weren't a lot of those things going on. Now, every week, somebody's getting blown a knee.
Somebody's down.
Sometimes it's non-contact. Your body's just shifting. I think one of the Dallas Cowboys star, I forgot his name, the DB, Diggs. He tore his knee on a non-contact.
Well,
he was just making
Kelce, right? Even Travis Kelce last week, I saw him plant, and it just looked just all bad. When he planted.
It rolled the wrong way. So I think they're gonna. I think that the league is gonna examine it. But remember, it's gonna be a trickle-down effect if that happens, and I think that's where the scary part is. I think there's more. It's more to look at than say, okay, the NFL is gonna do it. Well, you got to think all these high schools and all these things put in all this new turf. They just did all that stuff, and if you start to see, if you put it in the NFL and then injuries decrease, okay, well, colleges are going to try to follow suit, right? Especially the major colleges. We don't want our superstar players getting hurt or future NFL stars getting hurt, so we got to make sure we put in the same thing that they're running on, and so on and so on. And I think the game may be a little bit slower, but it'll be a lot safer.
Yeah, and this is one of those things I wonder about this as well, and this is probably not a popular discussion, but because they're already expensive, I'd be willing to pay for it as a fan, right? Mm-hmm. If it was going to make the game safer for the players out there, and just from a longevity perspective, I would be willing to go and add $1.50 more to the ticket price.
Yeah.
Don't raise the price of them hot dogs and them beers because they're already ridiculous. But you know what I'm saying? I would much rather know that Aaron Rodgers is not going to be out for the season after 4 plays because he's playing on inferior infrastructure, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And what's going to happen? So we got these quarterbacks, we got these players that are coming out. I'm starting to watch a lot more defensive ends. If someone like Bosa gets out, if somebody like Bosa or someone like Micah Parsons, right? One of them.
Your boy that played DN, you guys is DN for the Steelers. He balled out this weekend. Actually, he won the game for him. What's his name?
I didn't watch the Steelers.
Oh man, I can't think of it. His brother plays for Arizona. His brother plays for Arizona. Anyway, he's playing an MVP. He had 3 stats.
I'm afraid to watch my Steelers, so I don't even want to talk about it. I'm going through withdrawal. But you get what I'm saying. No, those are the guys I'm watching now. Right? Someone coming off the end like that.
I think you watch them and you watch DBs. I think you're going to see more injury towards the DBs because receivers are faster, cuts are a lot quicker. You got to be able to turn your body a lot quicker. Like I said, Diggs tore his whole knee up, or he tore his knee up on a non-contact, just breaking. He was just trying to break in practice anything. So there's got to be some type of give, man. I don't know. And I bet you if they did a study, you would see there's a ton of concussions because of the turf, not because of the initial hit.
Well, the 201, just like you said, the 201 should be the textbook example right there.
That's textbook.
That should be the
Yeah, his head hit the ground, and that's what caused it out. Maybe it would have happened the same way in grass, but I don't think so. Grass would have been a lot softer. Mm-hmm. The dirt would have gave in a little bit. I think the one thing about playing on turf because I played when there was grass when we had grass. The one thing about it is
You
you got to
old school
change it
though.
every
See,
week.
you old school, so are you okay?
Oh man, I mean, I played on turf too before, but I mean, grass you got to take. I know this for a fact because I used to have to paint the field. That was my job for college when I made a little extra money. But you have to do that every week, right? You're gonna have to go ahead. They have to roll saw it out because it's been tore up by divots and people tearing it up with the cleats and so on and so on. And then you go ahead and come back in, and then they roll it out, and you got to paint it out. So that's expensive. We already know that's pretty expensive. But we're talking about a company, a business that makes multi-billion dollars a year in the NFL, so they can afford it. It's not they can't afford it. So why would you put the most safest surroundings around your players and your athletes so they can be successful? The game will play a little bit slower, but it'll be a lot safer. Your star won't be hurt at all.
I will say this. Yeah, I will say this. If you look at soccer is all grass. You don't have any issues, and them cats out there running much faster, making much more
change
moves.
The direction. Yeah,
right?
Change the direction really fast. Absolutely, change the speed really quick, and you have a lot less of these knee injuries and ankle injuries there than you do in the NFL. In the NFL, it's stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. Which, again, if it was grass, it would give, and the situation would be so much safer for them as far as knees and ankles are concerned.
Well, I tell you what, we gonna be. Listen,
we'll be there. We can answer that question when we're there.
We gonna be in Vegas for the Super Bowl, and we will definitely talk to the. We're gonna find a way to talk to somebody, coaches, some representative, and ask the question: what do y'all want? Do y'all want real grass, or y'all want to stay on this trash all weather field?
I think that's a perfect question for somebody in the NFLPA, right? Like they should know what their audience wants. Like they should know, like, hey, this is the best thing. And since they have all the money to do all these studies and do all that stuff, they can figure it all out. Say, hey, what's the common, what's the common ground that we can come to in order to make sure this happens and we make this go. Do players take a 2% less on their contract in order for them to install all the grass? I would if I was a player.
I would too.
Like, hey, I mean, I have a career for that much longer. You go ahead and take this little 2% on out. Go on, take that little bit of money. And matter of fact, you can flip it so many different ways, man. You can flip it. The NFL is a nonprofit organization. Take my 2%, donate to the nonprofit, do what you want to do, and give me that tax write-off. There's so many things they can do to be creative in order to make it happen. They just got to be able to sit down and come to an agreement.
Folks, we out here just trying to save lives. we out here trying to save
lives, not lives,
save careers, save limbs and everything. Listen, I see my man Dan Roth in the building talking about the video is crispy. Yeah, we crispy, man. It's good to see you, brother. Appreciate you for jumping through. The amount of stories that we had this week is, listen, it's good to have an off week. I'm gonna say this: it's for us, because again, we don't talk about necessary scores, and we don't necessarily talk about all those aspects all the time. We get in kind of other aspects and other issues outside of that very first story. It's good that we are right now kind of asking the audience, what are you particularly looking for or wanting to talk about at this particular time? Just the fact that, again, there wasn't a whole lot necessarily going on negative that we have to go deep into, because we've gone into some deep conversations. I wanted to, maybe before we wrap, talk a little bit about the Buffaloes, still within football. And again, it's kind of a broken record, because we started talking about it from day zero, that y'all better watch out for these Colorado Buffaloes. But now they didn't mess around and beat Arizona State.
Mm-hmm.
What's that, 4? So
I think they're 4-2, yeah.
So they are 400% better than they were last year. Mm-hmm. I saw a story that the Tostitos Bowl has already reached out to Coach Sanders.
That's crazy.
He's already made.
He's not even bowl eligible yet. They're not even bowl eligible. They're already reaching out.
But so think about that. You come from one win for last season, and then 0 or however many you've done. You come in 1 year already. You did 400 times better than you did last year. And now you already have a major bowl reaching out to you saying, keep doing your thing. We want to invite you to come play at our bowl. Man's done his due diligence. He's done his job.
Yeah. Oh, man, we told you from day one that he's...
Like I said, we've been talking about this since day zero.
Yeah.
Man. Come on.
Yeah. Prime is a culture changer. He's not just a coach. He's a culture changer. That's That's probably the best way to describe it. He did it at Jackson, not Jackson State. Now he's doing it at Colorado. And he's showing that when you have a winning program, or you start to build a winning program, you are blessed in the football world with money and opportunities to come in your way strong. Me personally, Prime is going to use his contract out of Colorado. Then I think he takes over probably Florida State, and he'll be in the SEC. I think he's gotten that respect in that pool now. I think he's gonna sit there and build Colorado like he did Jackson State to be a champion, and then that's when he's gonna be like, I've done my job here. It's time for me to start all over and do something different. But what he's doing right now is amazing. You got to think in the last 2 years, Colorado only won one game in 2 years. They only won one game in 2 years. He's got them now being 4-2. Just for him to get them to a bowl game is amazing. And he's playing in the toughest conference probably in America right now, which is the Pac-12, which you got 4 or 5 teams that are rated in the top 20. Washington State, or Washington State's out of it now, but Washington, USC, Colorado's in there, Arizona's. You got Oregon State's in there. Your boy Oregon State's in
listen,
there.
They play November 4th. I just know that off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's wild. It's crazy how all that's happening, and he's found a way to be able to win in the toughest conference in his first year. We got to remember this is Deion's first year. It's unimaginable. The people who've only done that have been what they call legends, right? The Nick Sabans of the world, the Urban Meyers of the world, guys that are legendary and coming to programs and changing around. And even then, I don't think they changed it in 1 year. It used to take them about a year or two to change it around before they become powerhouses. This dude's done it in their first year, and you can agree or disagree with his tactics about using the portal the way he does. You can disagree or agree the way he handles himself, but you can't disagree with the results.
So that
numbers
right there
don't lie.
Yeah, I remember that show on ESPN. So that piece right there, right, agreeing or disagreeing with his tactics and the way that his players act. And I know this was a couple of weeks ago, and I'm not sure if everyone saw this, but when Travis Hunter, star offense and defensive player for Colorado, took a brutal hit, right, from Colorado State's player Henry Blackburn. Right, Henry Blackburn was getting all kind of death threats. He was getting all kind of side. A lot of folks were coming after him, saying that it was a dirty hit. He was bad. He shouldn't have done it and all that. Travis Hunter never said anything negative about that dude. Travis Hunter has a regular recurring stream. I think it's on Twitch or whatever, where he and his girlfriend, and they talked about it, and he said, "Listen, no, it's all in the game, all in football," and they got together. After Travis Hunter was able to travel a little bit, cats, they got together, and I'll put again the link in the description. They hung out, they had a little conversation, they went out and ate, they went out and played a couple of games of bowling. Right, they connected as grown men and said squash all of the negativity. We're not about negativity. We're about positivity. It's an aspect of the game. Someone's going to get hit. Someone's going to fall down. It is what it is, and we're moving forward. So I really appreciate the fact that, again, these young men are out here learning from whatever you agree with or you don't agree with the teachings that Deion is out there giving to his athletes. But just the fact that, again, Travis Hunter took that brutal hit, was seeking out Henry Blackburn. They had that meeting, and they squashed all the beef. And since that age, those kids, he put it all on what am I on here? TikTok. I guess this is where the kids hang out, right? So, but I think that was just a really cool experience, man.
I believe, man, he shows such a strong level of integrity, right, by doing that. Like his character, that speaks volumes about his character. By meeting with the young man, them both having a discussion. I mean, it's also on Blackburn's, side as well. What great young men and what great examples they showing about their character by sitting there meeting. I don't think even an apology was necessary. They both understand it was just part of the game. That's what happened, and then we moved on from it. He don't have they don't have ill wills towards each other. It was just in the competitive spirit, what you're doing. And you can question the hit or not. I mean, we're going to talk about the late hits and dirty hits. They happen every day, all day, any day on every football field. I think when you're in the heat in the moment and you're trying to set a tone and be intimidating, you get overzealous and you do things. Blackburn, it was a questionable hit. I don't know if it's necessarily late. I personally like the hit. I'm trying to intimidate whoever's in my way. That's
Yeah.
part of the game. I want to enforce my will on who's ever there. I don't care if it's Hunter or somebody out in the street. If I'm playing, I want to intimidate person. So I don't blame him for the hit. I do think adults and people are stupid by doing death threats and threatening his life and
Yeah, come on,
all that stuff.
that don't make no sense.
And it's very good to see that Hunter shows so much level of maturity. Like, yo, I'm gonna have this dude on my thing, and we're gonna chop it up, and we're gonna hang out, and we're gonna, this my and I think at the end he was like, this my boy. Like he was.
Yeah,
By the end of the day, they were boys. They weren't just colleagues or playing the sport or just guys that were mutual. I don't think they were just doing it for TikTok. They were like, we boys. That's my boy. I'm gonna holler at him. They really had a really good intimate conversation, man. I thought that was really big for them to set the example for the next generation coming up, because I think Travis Hunter realized there's a lot of eyes on him.
exactly.
A lot of young
Right.
eyes on him.
We always talk about the NIL piece. Yeah, no, we always talk about the your name, image, and likeness, and you making a little couple of dollars because you out at your local grocery store and all that. But the fact that they didn't have to do this and they did that, it was planned and it was videoed. But again, that just raises the level of the appreciation for these. I don't know, how old are they? 19, 18, 19 years old?
18, 19 year old.
At 18 to 19 years old, I wouldn't turn into cheek like I should have been. I probably should have, but I wasn't about that life. I was okay. We're not gonna get into that.
As we going down this college realm in Colorado, let's also give a shout out to them Utah boosters in NIL. They gave everybody that was on scholarship a brand new truck. That was huge to do last week.
Right, I saw that. Hold on, let me find that story. Shouts out to them youth. Where you at, Bracy? He probably calling asking about his truck.
Yeah, that but see, I think people don't understand. It's a bigger story. Think about the level of commitment now they have in that university. Think about how popular that is with that university, going to get other top recruits to come in there, and also showing their appreciation for the kids that are doing all this work they've been doing. Making so much money for the university, they were awarded a truck based off through the NIL, man. I mean, man, we in a new time in that age, man, which I'm glad these young people are getting paid and they're getting rewarded for all their hard work that they do, because they do sacrifice their lives as student athletes on campus.
Man, what they get? Hold on, let me see. All these players they got Dodge trucks.
Dodge
I didn't even see which ones they get. Look at
I think it was Rams, Dodge Ram trucks.
I ain't mad at it. Money's no object. Money's no object. Literally, so, quite literally and figuratively, money is no. Every single player on scholarship. That was the prerequisite.
Yeah, you had to be on scholarship, so it wasn't a walk-on or something like that. Which I'm pretty sure they might have did a little something for them. But if you were on scholarship, you got a brand new truck at University of Utah. and this is not the first. This is the first campus that does this. This is crazy. So another story I know, and I don't think it's been written anywhere, but what I understand, Texas A&M, if you're a recruit and you sign with them, the very next day a Dodge truck is at your doorstep for you signing with them as a university to play football. So
that's so dope.
I tell everybody right now, college football is now professional football. It's professional football now.
Oh yeah, we've known it's been big business just from the attention for forever, but now again with this whole aspect, I'm watching these kids on here, but with this whole name, image, and likeness, and being able to get these rewards, not having to go through the Reggie Bush situation. Reggie should get his trophy back, but we won't go into that either. But this is justified for all of these cats right here, and Brazy, you better go get you a Dodge Ram. But he played baseball, so he can't get a Ram.
And I know there's people out there saying, why are they doing this? Why these kids they don't deserve all this, something like that. But you got to understand how much money they make for the university. Like, you got to really understand how much money. I mean, they were in the playoffs last year. I know they brought just going to a bowl, you're going to get about $8 or $9 million right off the bat. That's not including the fans that are showing up in the stands and so on. That's just how much you get to go to the bowl game. Then they get TV right money and so on and so on and so on. So they generate and that's on one game. Can you imagine the one bowl game? They're going to generate about at least minimum about 25 to 50 million for the university.
Just like
so buying $4 million worth of cars, who cares? At that point, I'm giving $4 million to make my. That's like your boss giving you a bonus check at work, right? I'm gonna give my employees for doing such a great job. I'm gonna give them a little taste, so they can stay happy and stay committed to what we're doing,
and not enter that portal. Right.
Yeah, and attract other people that want to come, attract other great talent from other companies or other teams that want to come to my university because this is how we do it over here. We're showing it's a twofold, man. I think the level of recruiting is amped up hugely for the Power Five teams.
And I'm gonna become a
What you do?
booster for my Sacramento State Hornets. I'm gonna find a way to boost some, I don't know, some attention to my team because we're not doing well. We haven't been doing well. So
Now they all right. They're
I'm
gonna be
gonna
all right. They
become a
just gotta
booster.
they gotta win the Big Sky. They win the Big Sky, they'll be back in the playoffs. They'll be all
We'll
right.
see.
They're gonna be all right.
We'll see. So
Yeah.
what is it? Stingers up? Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone too. All right, brother. Listen, we did what we had to do. What else you got on your mind? You got anything else on your mind? I just had a
Um,
random story that we'll close with, but
I like that. I like the Colorado story, man, about the young high school wrestler in Colorado. He was about to go to state, very good wrestler, and he refused to wrestle a female wrestler for as he advances into the state finals. And his reason behind but refusing to wrestle and forfeiting before he goes off to college and wrestle, he said that I didn't want to inappropriately be in a situation where I have to touch her inappropriately or touch her in a way or she touched me inappropriately. And then if she finds it offensive or somebody else finds it offensive, I could be in trouble.
yeah.
And the roles vice versa. She touches him by in a wrongful way. She could be that way. And he said, I don't want to put myself in that situation. So he declined. He forfeited the wrestling match.
So you
I thought
about this story right here, right? The
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And it was weird. It was weird. Like I can see both sides of it, right? I can see like, okay, she signed up. She knows what she's getting into. She wants to wrestle. Go ahead and go out there, wrestle her, and do your thing. But I also can see it from his perspective, saying, hold on, if I do anything wrong or anything inappropriate or people deem it's inappropriate, I'm going to get a bunch of scrutiny. So I don't know if I want to put myself in that situation to be scrutinized. I'd rather just take a step back and go on off to college and continue my wrestling career there, rather than go ahead and keep competing to go to state. He thought he felt that was more important. And that's crazy, man. I mean, I can see from both sides. I really can understand both sides.
So hold on. So and I guess I want to interject because it'll fall out
Yeah.
of my head if I don't say it real quick. So this is different than the transgender type of conversation that we normally have. This is actually a biological female out here putting in that work and wanting to wrestle with the guys.
Yep.
That's interesting.
So, yeah. So she's a woman wrestling. In a wrestling is co-ed, right? Girls can wrestle in the boys division. So she's obviously very talented. So she got to that situation where she wanted to wrestle him. He just felt at least from his explanation, what he felt it was a step away. He just wanted to say he said he'll forfeit. And his reasoning behind when he did it on the news, he just said because I don't want to be deemed if I touch her inappropriately, like I got to do a move and I have to grab her by her crouch or I have to grab her by her chest.
Yeah.
If someone thinks that's wrong, I don't want to be scrutinized. And, someone responded, well, what if she grabs you by your thing? He said the same thing. She could be scrutinized by grabbing me by my genital area, trying to getting out of the situation. So I'd rather just avoid being scrutinized in that situation. I can respect that. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it. If she signed up for it to do it, I guess you can go ahead and do it. But I can respectfully I can understand why he stepped away based on those reasonings.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking about it and just reading through the story for the first time myself. Again, I'm okay with that, right? If that's a decision that you're gonna make, right? That you are willing to step back from this championship, this title, or whatever, because you don't feel that this is the right situation for you. And again, we talk a lot about domino effects, right? You scrutinize in the court of public opinion or wherever the case may be as well. If you're willing to accept pros and cons of it, then I'm actually cool with this story right here.
Yeah, I thought it was very, very big of him. Actually, to be honest with you, I thought it was pretty big of him to not only to forfeit and forfeit a chance to go into state, but also to give his reasoning behind it. Like to say this is the reason why, I chose to forfeit. I'll stand by my decision. I thought that was very big of him, of the young man that did that in Colorado, and I think it was very, praise to the, kudos to the young lady that made it that far in the playoffs and doing her thing. She's obviously been able to beat men, right, and do her thing to be able to get to that situation. So those are one of those situations that's very sticky how you maneuver. right? Because you can't say the wrong thing, you can't say too much of the right thing, and everybody's always gonna have an opinion whether they agree with it or disagree with it, right? Everybody has an opinion about it. It's just, it's crazy. This was a story. Those are one of them stories, man. I wanted us to kind of discuss a little because I'm like, man, this is sticky. This is real sticky.
Yeah.
Which way you go?
I mean, because I'm looking at it mainly from his side, and wondering, and I understand her saying that, okay, I respect you for not wanting to do this, but man, just look at me as someone
Yeah,
else who suits up, right? Someone else that I can probably put you in the chokehold faster than you think I can, right? So respect me for my skills. I think what'll, and I don't think it's as settling. I think what she's going to have to go, if she continues to be great like she is right now, she's going to have to show her skill on the Olympic stage, right? Or
yes,
somewhere like
yeah,
that, where again, higher quality athletes just either on the Olympic stage or go to, I don't even know if they have in college, right? Women's wrestling.
yeah. They have women's
Okay.
wrestling in college. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
So
that may be it, right? Just going to a much larger stage, continuing to put in that work. And someone will wrestle her. We just have to
oh yeah,
respect
yeah.
this gentleman
No,
for saying that he
I
didn't
don't
want
think,
to.
yeah, I don't think there's gonna be a problem her finding, someone to wrestle in the future doing that. I just think this was a young man that thoughtfully was understanding the situation, and he's like, I think I'll pass.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to I don't even want to get in that discussion. I don't want to get in that situation. I don't want to be involved in that situation. And he may have biases. I really don't want to wrestle a girl. He may have that bias as well, and he just didn't say it. And to me, if you say, hey, I really don't want to wrestle a girl, I can respect you, man. I can respect you. I don't think you're downplaying her or you're downing her because you say you don't want to wrestle her.
Yeah.
You just feel you don't want, because I'll be perfect. I don't want to play against a girl in football. I want to hit. I wouldn't want to hit a girl. I wouldn't. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think I knew I thought for myself that I would have an unfair advantage if I was to, go full blow and hit a young woman trying to participate. So I can kind of understand his rationale where he's coming from. I was hoping people would just, you don't have to like it, but at least respect his decision, right? Respect his decision as a young man, and let him go by doing it. So it's just sticky, man. It's real sticky.
Because I think about, so looking at the statistic here, since '94, been some 800 to now over 16,000 female high school wrestlers, and I'm thinking about other sports. I have no problem with females playing baseball. I've seen some softball players who can actually throw a hard ball and it can actually get that curve ball a little bit faster than mine
Yeah.
used to be. Wrestling is tough though. Yeah, I'm trying to think of some other football as well. I don't think I don't think the co-ed works right for football.
Yeah. And people argue that all the time, like, oh, they can do that. I think one young lady just got a scholarship to play football at the collegiate level. I think she's gonna be the first one. And I think there's a difference. There is a difference between being in a position where you're not really gonna have a lot of contact, which is like a kicker or something like that, and being in the position where you're gonna really feel some contact, like a receiver, if you happen to catch that ball. You know what I mean? Have nothing to do with her skill set and the light. She can be a very talented person, but I just think our physical makeup is different. And if somebody hits that young lady in a question manner, I will feel bad, because I don't. Maybe it's the part of this I just don't know. We haven't seen a female be able to take a hit like that and be able to get up and do those things and do the things. I haven't seen a female be able to play running back at that high level, right? At a collegiate level, where she's going to get hit by linebackers or 300-pound men all the time. It's being very, being aggressive. So since I haven't seen it, I don't know if I can fathom it ever happen. I wouldn't want it to happen. I know if it's my daughter, I don't want it to happen. I don't want her to even put herself in that situation. So
and I'm sitting here thinking about probably the counter argument to that is, the females are saying, don't limit me, right? Don't let me come out here.
You're
And
right.
let me
You're
be
absolutely
me. Let me compete. Let me
I'm,
do
I'm,
this is
I'm,
right.
I'm guilty of being hypocritical. I'm
Yeah.
guilty of being hypocritical. I am.
Yeah.
I'm human and I'm hypocritical in some situations, and this is one of them. So they can persecute me all I want. It's just my opinion. I'm not saying women can't do it all.
But it's not in harm, right? It's not in
I'm not
harm.
doing it in
It's
harm.
actually with
No.
good intention.
But I'm when I'm honest with myself, right? I'm not gonna try to sit here and play the political game. That's just the way I feel. You can argue with me that I feel wrong. That's fine, and I get it. Why you see why women would sit in a different perspective. I'm not trying to limit you. I'm just saying I don't agree with that situation. I don't agree with a heavyweight woman fighting a heavyweight boxer. I don't agree putting a woman versus a man in boxing. I don't agree with it in MMA, and I don't agree with it in football.
Yeah,
I think those are some things they should be gender specific, because then you're the best of your gender. Now, if you want to go ahead and fight outside, do all that, that's, to me, starts to become more of a circus, right? When they start doing things like that, because now it's just for money and all these other things. But I believe it should be gender specific when it comes to, especially those physical sports like that. We have it in everything else. I don't know why all of a sudden now that they think everybody wants to integrate everything.
Yeah.
Everything isn't meant to be integrated. Bathrooms aren't meant to be integrated when in the public space. You know what I'm saying? Everything doesn't have to be integrated just because people say so, right? Just because you say so doesn't make it right. There has to be some validity behind it, and I don't think some things need to be that way. And that's my opinion. If you think I'm hypocritical, think I'm being sexist, that's fine. I could take all the smoke to stare, but I'm not doing it in a malicious intent at all.
I would tell you what, Shirley is here saying the same thing. Co-ed sports to a degree. It's only
Yes.
realistic. Not all sports are equal. There it is right there. There's the mic drop statement right there. Appreciate you, Shirley, for being here as well. But this is just, I think, the first time that we've had this conversation about, again, a biological, a born female competing in a traditionally men's arena and wrestling on a men's team, and being told, no, I don't want to wrestle. I don't want to wrestle with you because of who you are. That's a different conversation.
But see, what's funny? That's crazy, because you think 50 years black. I don't want to eat there because that person's black.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go there because that's white only. Can't sit there. We've always had things that separated us, right? For whatever reason, for whatever personal traits that we had. I don't want to wrestle because she's a girl. Okay, I can respect that. Well, you know what? We've had these things about segregation. Segregation is the same way, right? Mm-hmm. You can't do this because of this. You can't do X because of Z, right? We're not going to sit down and eat with you because you're African American. We don't want those African Americans sitting here because of the color of their skin. We don't want to deal with this because they're Indian. It's all that's based on a race. Now we're talking about gender. It's just different form. Now we're talking about gender. Now he just says, I don't want to wrestle against a gender. Me, I can, like I said, I can respect it. And given his reasoning, I really respect why he said it. So again, I'm conflicted sometimes with it, and I believe I'm hypocritical when it comes to it. I am.
You set in your ways,
especially when it comes to my own.
Yeah, there it is. You set in your ways, nothing wrong with it. You set in your ways, man. That's good.
And I don't mean no harm. I really don't mean no harm. I'm not trying to bash nobody. I'm just saying that's the way that I look at it.
You won't get any hate mail. Don't worry about it. You're not gonna get any hate tweets this week. It's gonna be all right. All right, man. I tell you what. Let me ask you about this last story, and this is kind of a funny thing that I saw, and just I don't know how this happens. This number, to be honest with you. High school football, North Carolina. Shouts out to North Carolina. So the score ended up being, as y'all can see, 106 to 83. They didn't even finish the game. That's not the final score. They had to stop the game because the lights at the field went out. You know how the lights go off on the timer at the field. So 10, 11 o'clock at night, they had to stop the game. And coach was saying, listen, I'm tired. I'm glad that we 106 to 83.
That's gotta be a record.
Them boys out there balling.
No, they're not. That's not balling.
No, you don't know. They out there balling, and they showboating, and there's nobody there. No corner is cornering. No safety is safetying. No, there is no defense out there.
Defense is defensive. That's what that's called. Yeah,
it's a Pro Bowl is what that is. It's just It's Shedeur Sanders out there throwing 60-yard bombs out there and just showboating. But
that is crazy. I mean, once you get to the point of 50, you'd be like, wow, you put 50 points on the board. The fact that you double that before the game even ended at 106, that's
189 total points.
They were running track that day. They was running track that day. That was just going back and forth on the field. Matter of fact, Both coaches shouldn't even do no defense out there. The Shakes should be like, you know what, defense stay on the sideline. Let them hike the ball, score real quick, so put the ball back in. Do it all over. So, wow, shout out to them though, man. Shout out to the. I mean, you know what's crazy? Forget the score. What a wonderful event and historical event to be a part of, right?
Yeah.
If you're a young man and you played in that game, like, man, I remember we played in the game. We scored 106 points, and they scored 83 points. Who's gonna believe you? Like, you're like, what? No, you didn't. Like,
No,
yeah,
you
I did.
didn't. You
It's
did not score.
documented.
Yeah, you scored 10 touchdowns in the game. No, you didn't. Stop lying. And then you go look at how bad them Denver Broncos got beat the other day. What was that? 70-30. We can talk about that too later. But
Yeah. I mean, shout out to them kids, man. I mean, like I said, somebody got a dope highlight reel. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah,
somebody
that's
got a
definitely on
one-game
Max.
highlight
That's
reel.
definitely on Max Preps. that's definitely gonna be on somebody's demo reel. That's definitely on their IG story. So that was a good little thing right there. I wanted to share with folks, man. All right, but listen, we did it again.
Absolutely.
We went downhill a little bit, talked a little. But we got folks thinking. Hopefully, with the story that we started off with, and then brought it up a little bit, and hopefully spurred up some discussion. I guess spurred up discussion. That's what we do. That's what we do. That's what we try to do. If you think we're doing a good job, let us know. If you don't think we're doing a good job, still let us know.
Let us know.
Right. That all we can do is continue to get better. And you see, I got the scrolling down there. Montel got some NIL deals. We got representation from Sly Beverages. Shouts out to Sly. Go ahead and
Big
use
time.
our
Sly, they got some new flavors too.
Is that
right?
right?
They just came out with some new flavors. Yeah, they got some new flavors.
I'm gonna have to get me some of that there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sly doing it big, man.
All right. Lovemore916.com. Y'all saw the promo code there as well. We appreciate them for their support, and y'all know the Team No Sleep merchandise store got the demo. I forgot what the code is. What is it? 15% off, 10% off. How much did that? I don't want to get too much off. Well, I
said 15%.
Yeah, I may have to change that. I may have to change that. We're gonna give Shirley. She's gonna have her. No, you already have her own code. She's got her own code. She's got a VIP code because she's been with us since day one. So yeah,
absolutely.
She got her own VIP code. Montel, take us home, brother. Take us home.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Please, everybody, say your prayers out. We know that that war starting off over in the Middle East. Please say your prayers out for those people out there. Tough times, everybody. So please check up on your loved ones. Say your prayers. Contact your family. Check in on them. Like I always say, be comfortable having uncomfortable conversations.
That's it, y'all. Stay focused on you now.